Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and controversial companies in tech right now. OpenAI. You've probably heard of ChatGPT, right? Maybe you've used it to write emails, brainstorm ideas, or even just to have a weird conversation at 2 a.m. But have you ever wondered about the company behind it? The story of OpenAI is absolutely wild. It involves some of the biggest names in tech, billions of dollars, dramatic boardroom battles, and a mission that literally aims to benefit all of humanity. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's unpack this together. And stick around till the end, because we need to talk about what this all means for your future. Let's rewind to December 2015. Elon Musk, Sam Altman, and a group of tech luminaries announced something ambitious. They were founding OpenAI as a non-profit AI research lab. Their stated mission? To ensure that artificial general intelligence, that's AI that can do anything a human can do, benefits all of humanity, not just a powerful few. Think about the context here. This was 2015. AI was already making headlines, but mostly in ways that scared people. Remember all those articles about robots taking jobs? About autonomous weapons? There was this growing fear that whoever built superintelligent AI first would have unprecedented power. So these founders said, what if we make it open? What if we share our research with everyone? That's actually where the name comes from. OpenAI. The idea was radical transparency. They even pledged over $1 billion in funding. The founding team was stacked. Elon Musk, Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, Ilya Sutskever, who was a protege of AI legend Geoffrey Hinton, and several others. These weren't just dreamers. These were people who had built real companies, who understood both the technology and the stakes. But here's the thing about ambitious missions. They often run into messy reality, and OpenAI's reality was about to get very complicated. Fast forward to 2019. OpenAI made a shocking announcement. They were transitioning from a pure non-profit to something called a capped profit company. Wait, what? Here's what happened. Building cutting-edge AI is expensive. Like, really expensive. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars for the computing power alone. The non-profit structure wasn't bringing in enough money fast enough. They needed capital, and they needed it at a scale that donations couldn't match. So they created this hybrid structure, OpenAI LP, a for-profit company, but with a twist. Investors could make returns, but those returns were capped. The idea was to keep the mission-driven approach while accessing the kind of funding they needed. And boy, did they access funding. Microsoft came in with $1 billion investment. Then another investment. By 2023, Microsoft had invested around $13 billion in OpenAI. That's billion with a B. Now, Elon Musk had already left the board in 2018, partly over disagreements about direction and partly to avoid conflicts of interest with Tesla's own AI work. But this pivot marked a fundamental shift. OpenAI was no longer just an idealistic research lab. It was a company with investors, revenue targets, and commercial products. The question everyone started asking, had OpenAI abandoned its original mission? Were they still open in any meaningful sense? Then came GPT-3 in 2020, and everything changed. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Basically, it's an AI that learned patterns from enormous amounts of text and could generate remarkably human-like responses. But GPT-3 was different. It had 175 billion parameters. It could write poetry, code, essays, and hold conversations that felt, well, almost human. The tech world lost its mind. Suddenly, AI wasn't some distant future thing. It was here, and it was accessible through an API. Developers started building applications on top of it. We saw AI writing assistants, coding tools, creative applications. The possibilities seemed endless. But OpenAI kept GPT-3 behind an API. You couldn't download the model. You couldn't see exactly how it worked, For a company called OpenAI, this felt ironic. They argued it was about safety, about preventing misuse. Critics said it was about competitive advantage. Then, in November 2022, OpenAI released ChatGPT to the public, and it became the fastest-growing consumer application in history. 1 million users in 5 days, 100 million in 2 months. Think about that. Facebook took 4.5 years to reach 100 million users. ChatGPT did it in 2 months. Suddenly, everyone was talking about AI. Your grandmother, your accountant, your kid's teacher, everyone. OpenAI had brought AI to the mainstream in a way no one had before. And then things got weird, really weird. November 17th, 2023. Sam Altman, the CEO who had become the face of OpenAI, was suddenly fired by the board. The announcement was shocking and vague. They said he was inconsistently candid in his communications. The tech world exploded. What happened? Was this about safety concerns? Commercial disagreements? Internal politics? Nobody really knew. And OpenAI wasn't saying much. Within days, there was a full-scale rebellion. OpenAI employees threatened to quit en masse and join Microsoft, where Altman had been offered a position, unless the board resigned and Altman was reinstated. We're talking about over 700 employees, including almost the entire leadership team, signing a letter demanding change. 5 days later, Sam Altman was back as CEO. Most of the board that fired him was gone. It was one of the most dramatic reversals in corporate history. What this revealed was a fundamental tension at the heart of OpenAI. The tension between moving fast to build powerful AI and moving carefully to ensure safety. Between commercial success and original mission. Between those who think AI development should be slowed down and those who think slowing down means falling behind. One key figure in all this was Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI's chief scientist and one of the original founders. He was reportedly part of the decision to fire Altman, then signed the letter to bring him back, then eventually left the company to start his own AI safety venture. That tells you something about how complicated these questions are. So where does this leave us in 2026? OpenAI has released GPT-4, which is even more capable than GPT-3. They've launched DALL-E for image generation, Sora for video, and voice capabilities that feel increasingly natural. They're no longer just a research lab or a product company. They're a platform that other companies build on. Microsoft has integrated OpenAI's technology across its products. Google has responded with its own AI initiatives. The entire tech industry is racing to build better AI faster. OpenAI sits at the center of this, both driving innovation and facing scrutiny about whether they're doing it responsibly. The company is reportedly valued at over $80 billion. That's more than many Fortune 500 companies. For context, that's more than companies like Ford or FedEx. Not bad for a company that started as a non-profit research lab less than a decade ago. But here's what keeps me up at night. Are we building AI faster than we're figuring out how to control it? OpenAI has a super alignment team, working on ensuring that super intelligent AI, when it arrives, stays aligned with human values. But some of the people who started that team have left, saying OpenAI isn't prioritizing safety enough. It's a genuine dilemma. If OpenAI slows down to focus on safety, their competitors might not. But if they move too fast, they might create risks that affect all of us. Here's the bottom line. OpenAI has fundamentally changed our world. Whether you think they're heroes racing to make AI benefit humanity, or whether you worry they've lost sight of their original mission in pursuit of profit and growth, you can't deny their impact. We're living through a genuine technological revolution, and it's happening in real time. 5 years ago, AI was something happening in research labs. Today, it's in your phone, your work tools, your kids' homework helpers. 10 years from now, it'll be even more integrated into everything we do. And that's exactly why I make these videos. Because this stuff matters. These aren't just tech stories. They're stories about power, about how technology shapes society, about the future we're building together. So here's what I want you to do. If you found this valuable, if you want to understand the forces shaping our future, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, we're going to keep diving into these stories, explaining complex tech in ways that actually make sense, and asking the hard questions about where we're headed. Drop a comment below. Do you think OpenAI is still true to its original mission? Are you optimistic or worried about how fast AI is developing? I read every comment, and your perspectives genuinely add to these conversations. And if you want to go deeper, I've got a whole playlist on AI, covering everything from how these systems actually work to their societal implications. It's linked in the description. The AI revolution is happening whether we pay attention or not, but I'd rather we pay attention, think critically, and participate in shaping where it goes. That starts with understanding what's really happening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.